Tamika Wilson. I am the owner of Nobody Greater LLC. It is a company that is based on public relations, event planning, coaching, and consulting. And one of the things that I have learned in working in my business is that you can literally use anything that you've been through and monetize it. And so I want to help people learn how to monetize adversity. You know, when we think of adversity, we think about things that are negative. We think about things that we've been through, and we always want to, wah, this happened to me. But we have to realize that things happen to us for a reason. Change can be good, it could be bad, but the thing about change is that either way, it's a lesson. And so lessons are meant to be learned. And so it's up to us to determine what we do with it. And so now I teach people to turn their pain into power. It kind of helps that I'm a psychologist. And so I worked in the prisons and law enforcement and treatment centers, addiction. Hey, Naomi. And the reality is that a lot of people have been through a lot of things. We all go through things, and we're going to continue to go through things. It seems like you accomplish one thing, you overcome one thing, and boom, here comes another. But I'm going to tell y'all a secret. That's called life. And the key is figuring out how to combat it. How do you keep rolling with it? How do you conquer adversity? And the secret is conquering it by using it as a benefit. I used to think that I was a magnet for chaos, and I realized that could be a good thing. We sit and we think about things that happen to us as children, in adolescence, and then adulthood. And what do you do with it all? You just have memories, and they just pile up on each other, and they just pile up, and they just pile up, and they just pile up. And then you get to a point where you can't remember everything. You lose details, you lose seasons, you lose years. People tell me things, and I'm like, did that really happen? Like, I don't remember. And then I'm like, that's because 10,000 things happen. But if we keep a record, we continuously reflect, as we evolve, the same situation could mean different things at different times. And we have to learn to use that, because nothing is in vain. And so I want to talk to you guys about turning your pain into power, because I figured out that we all have pain. It's something that everybody has. It's not a thing of, you have more than me, or your pain is worse than mine. It's just a reality that we all have pain, and we have to turn it into power. So the first step, take inventory of your pain and learn how to turn it into your superpower. Now, I have a product, and everybody asks me, what is a superpower? A superpower is anything. It could be praying, it could be your resources, it could be your education, it could be the totality of all of it. You're taking everything that you have and you're putting it together, and you're using it for your good. This is how you turn your pain into power. Step one is all 10 steps. It's putting it all together to make it work for you. You can use it in relationships, you can use it in your business, you can use it in parenting, you can use it in schooling, you can use it anywhere. Because your superpower is you. You are your power. And you have to figure out how to stop looking at that as a weakness and use it as a strength. Number two, promote and demote the people in your life that affect you favorably or adversely. Now, we know everybody comes into our life for a reason. We often don't know what it is. We may even get bad feelings about somebody because we know that this is not a good thing. But I tell everybody, no matter whether it's good or bad, there's a lesson in it. And so you have to make sure that you are remaining open to receive what you are meant to get from every interaction. So promote people in your life. If you have somebody that is investing in you, then let them, figure out what it is that they see in you that you don't see in yourself, or what they're telling you about yourself that you didn't realize. That's how my business started, is people started investing in me, and people started seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself. And then I started believing them. I said, you know what? Maybe they know something I don't know. Let me tap into that. And so promote people in your life, those people that support you, those people that invest in you, those people that are your cheerleaders, whether you want them to be or not, those people that have always cheered you on and you're like, what is wrong with them? Tap into that. The demoting part will make or break you. If you allow people access to you that access should be denied, you can ruin your life, your business, your marriage, your relationships, your future, your seasons, your projects. You have to make sure that you are not allowing people in your life that are going to ruin your dream or your mindset or your soul or anything that you need to propel you forward. People can taint anything. And so never be afraid to demote someone if your intuition tells you that they are harmful. Your intuition is something that you should always tap into. It is given to you for a reason. It's a sign of protection. So promote and demote people accordingly. Number 3, change your environment. I don't know how to tell you. Well, I'm a military wife, so now I have to change my environment all the time. I'm not happy about that, but I'm moving, so that's why everything looks so bare too. But the reality is that a lot of people never change their environment. They want their world to change, they want their life to change, but they're never willing to change where they are or where they go. But the reality is sometimes you have to do that. You get stuck and you wonder why you're stuck. Well, you're stuck because you're not willing to change anything. So a lot of times it starts with your environment and ends with your environment. You can change your job, you can change your apartment, you can change the people around you, but you're still in the same city that has a black hole, that has no advancement, no resources. What can you do? You're stuck. You're killing yourself, and you're just going in a cycle that's not going to get you anywhere. Change your environment. Never be afraid to change your environment. That could mean even if you work from home, get up and go to Starbucks sometimes. You will learn, you will grow, you will feel things that you can't feel just doing the same thing every day. So never be afraid to change your environment. Hey, Dillis. Okay, so next, seek help. Did y'all hear me? Seek help. That could mean therapy or coaching. So, most of us are coaches, but coaches need coaches. I'm a therapist. Therapists need therapists. I used to think that, a therapist or even preachers, we think preachers don't need help. Everybody, I don't care who you are, you need help. We are not designed to live life alone. We are not designed to go through things alone. We go through pain, grief, sorrow, marriage, divorce, childbirth, child loss. We go through these things and we're not supposed to do them by ourselves. Whether you're a business owner, you can't build your business by yourself. I know somebody on here's trying, and I see you. You're trying. Can't do it by yourself because you're not going to think of everything. You're going to need a sounding board. You're going to need somebody to talk to bounce things off of. And you need to do that because otherwise you're going to be stagnant. You're going to be stagnant in life. You're going to be stagnant in business. You can be stagnant spiritually. Yeah, I said that. Spiritually. Make sure that you are allowing resources and people, and good and bad, even when you're talking to someone in your business and they're shutting you down and they're just making you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're going to learn from it. So seek help. Therapy, coaching, a village, whatever it means, group up. You need to have people in your life for different reasons, and don't try to do it alone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, build a village. It goes along with number 4. Don't do it alone. So I know I talk to a lot of people, Dillis included, and we talk about meetups and support groups. I have about 20 support groups online, and people say, why? Because every support group is different. I have a support group where I'm in one for military wives. I can't talk to somebody that's not a military wife about being a military wife. You can't talk to somebody about being a business owner that's not a business owner. You can't talk to somebody that's married if, the people aren't married. So build a village. And this doesn't mean that you only have to have one village. Build as many as you need. Because as we go through life, we're going to hit different stages. We're going to hit different seasons. We're going to hit different issues as we as we grow. I mean, I'm having my 38th birthday in a few days, y'all. And, you know, at 35, I had a midlife crisis. And so my friends changed because I started wanting different things in life, and I started looking behind me, and I started looking at the people behind me that weren't moving. And so your village needs to reflect where you're going, and it also needs to reflect where you've been. So build your village according to your needs and your wants. Okay? So I think we're on number 6. Make personal development a priority. Now, a lot of people in here specifically, and other business groups, we focus so much on our business, we're not focusing on personal growth. You can't build a business if you're jacked up personally. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot build a business if you are jacked up personally. You have to get your life right in order for anything that you touch to flourish. Because if you're a mess, everything that you represent will be a mess. And I've been a mess. And so I literally had to, thank you whoever said like my glasses, Victoria. So you have to make sure that you are working on personal development. I do it at least an hour a day, whether it's watching devotions. I just watched Michael Todd, Steve Furtick, Lisa Bevere, Priscilla Shire. Doesn't matter if you're faithful or faithless. You need to make sure that you are filling yourself, and that you are healing, and that you are dealing, and that you are doing what you need to do so that you can produce. You cannot produce anything if all it is a mess. Personal development also means growth, because the reality is you have to learn. You have to continue to learn. You cannot feel like you know everything that you need to know and still build. Building means stacking on top of. So as you're doing it for marketing and whatever in your business, what are you doing for personal development? Check yourself. So hey Trisetta, hey Naomi. And so make personal development a priority. Set attainable goals. And I can make this number 1. I can make all these number 1, y'all. Set attainable goals. I know for me, I'd never set attainable goals. You know, I would commit to something. I would commit to getting my master's degree, but I didn't see myself on the other side of it. I didn't see myself attaining what I set out to do. Setting attainable goals means not just making a vision board at New Year's. It means making goals monthly, weekly, daily, however often you need to do it. Don't be afraid to adjust them and adapt them, because you may set goals that are here when you're already here. And so make sure that your goals are also adaptable to who you're becoming and how you evolve. So set attainable goals and put them somewhere that you can see them. Don't just put them in a book and put them away. Put them somewhere where you can actually see the goals. And so do that. Yes, make personal development a goal. Set attainable goals. Yes. And so number 7, train your brain. Now we talk about mindset all the time, and mindset. But the reality is that you have to train your brain. What do I mean by that? Well, as a psychologist, I used to really look at addicts and people, you know, clients, and wonder, you know, how do you explain to them what you're trying to do for them? Is that as you're introducing new things and trying to get rid of old ways and habits and behavior traits, you have to train your brain. Introducing new things through personal development, through the people that you're talking to and networking and resource building, you're going to be introduced to new things. So you have to actually get rid of some of the old things so that you can bring the new things in and implement them. You know, the key to growth is execution, you know, and so you have to live intentionally. Make sure that you are allowing room to be trained. You have to train the brain for the outcome that you want. And this is called mindset, but I call it training the brain. And so make sure you're doing this daily, because it takes time. You know, it was, You know, it's a thing where it's not going to happen the first time. You have to keep reintroducing things, and make it. How do you vision where you want to go? I have a goal, but I do not see it. Help. Terry, that's actually my first name. Hey, Terry. Terry, I have a problem with this. And my husband tells me all the time to step into abundance. And so even with my master's, I sabotage my goals. You know, I put it out there because I feel like if I put it out there and I put it out there, it looks like I'm always inching and I'm trying to get there. But you need to see yourself on the other side of it. So whatever that goal is, see yourself doing what it is that you want to do. Don't see yourself striving for it. See yourself doing it. Because when we see ourselves on the other side and we see ourselves doing whatever it is that we want to do, you try differently. You try harder. You don't let things get in your way. You don't make things a mountain. You know, you let it be a molehill. And so you just think differently. So that has to do with confidence too. And so when you see yourself being who you are designed to be, you'll be her differently. I promise. And message me if you have any questions about that. Practice visualizing daily. That's right. Self-sabotage. Trisetta, I'm the master at self-sabotage. That's how I know how to write this stuff up. All right, so train your brain, and that has to do with confidence building. It has to do with the personal development. You know, personal development is a thing because when I started looking at Lisa Bevere and Priscilla Shirer, and Lisa Bevere started talking about the lioness, I could relate. I was like, you know, she's in there, but I don't know how to let her out. And I started listening to these things. And so when you can't think of these things on your own, start looking at the people who wear the confidence that you want to you know, wear. You know, look at who you want to be like and see who you see yourself being and follow that. Because as leaders, it is our responsibility to find those resources and adapt. So Valencia, keep going. Felicia, I'm sorry. Keep going, don't stop. Train your brain. Number 8, I just said it earlier. Expect abundance. I had a problem with this my whole life. And so I would look at things and I accepted that I was always going to be a single mom and that I was always going to be an employee, which I consider a bad word now. I always saw myself being a follower because I was scared to lead, but I knew I was always designed to be a leader. Expect abundance. When you start expecting abundance, you will not tolerate foolishness. It's the best word I can give y'all. That foolishness. There's no other word for it. When you expect abundance and you realize and you see yourself differently, you won't accept anything else. You won't accept anything for your time, for your family, for your money. You'll start seeing your value and your worth. You'll start building your confidence. You'll start looking differently. You'll start feeling differently. You'll start eating differently, sleeping differently. Expect abundance. And I don't care where you're at. You can be on brick 1. And I want you to expect abundance. Expect it. Because when you expect it, your life will reflect it. Expect abundance. And number 10, y'all, we're almost done. Number 10 is determine what your pain means for your purpose and how it maps your future. Determine what your pain means for your purpose and how it maps your future. Do y'all need me to break that down? All right, so what that means, I love foolishness, Billy. It describes what it is, foolishness. So determine what your pain means and how it fits into your purpose for your life. I had to do this because my adversity started early on. I mean, as a little girl, I just remember chaos. I mean, from our house burning down, parents separating, sexual assault as a teenager, teenage pregnancy, from my sexual assault. It was just everything. And it was like, if you couldn't imagine it happening to you, it happened to me. And, you know, I really, I started off being a date rape counselor at the age of 14. I started off being put on all kinds of medication for depression, because back then they didn't really know that it was PTSD. And then I grew up and I knew that I wanted to understand my life and what was happening to me. So I became real scholarly, and I went to school and I became a law enforcement officer, because if I figured if I could beat somebody's butt, I would never be a victim again. So I started learning, how to defend myself, right? And so then I decided I wanted to learn about the brain, and I got into school for psychology. And so trust your struggles. I love that, Carol. I got into psychology, and as I started working around inmates and addicts and all of the vulnerable populations, I worked in geriatrics, I learned that there was a commonality between all of these populations, and it was pain. And even in my business, I started as a life coach, and I don't even know what I am anymore, y'all. I just help people because I have chronic illness, because my pain literally ate me alive. I became sick, I became paralyzed, I had blood clots in my lungs, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, emphysema. I mean, you name it, I have it. And it was because my body was just not absorbing. It was holding all of that pain internally. And it was subconscious that it affects us whether we deal or not. And so I started understanding that I had to do something with my pain, because if I left it in here, it was going to kill me. And now I teach people how to use it, because if you let it out and you use it to propel you forward, it is the best form of healing you can ever imagine. Not only are you healing, but you're helping people. And so the thing is that when you're helping yourself and you're helping others, that's called servant leadership. We were designed for that. You have a lot of people who will never step up to do it. You'll have a lot of people who never own it. But we were designed to be free, not bonded by pain. And so we have to learn how to externalize our pain and not allow it to kill us internally. And so that is how you turn your pain into power. And I just want you guys to understand that no matter what happened to you in your life, you are powerful. Love y'all.